Two fires in the Metro East. The first one happened just about midnight on Laser Chef. That's off Illinois Route 157 in Cahokia Heights. Well, when crews arrived, they found some pretty heavy fire coming from the home, but firefighters managed to knock it down. The cause still under investigation. But we want to point this out. About 2 hours later, so that would be about 2 o'clock this morning, crews responded to a vacant house fire on Camp Jackson Road, also in Cahokia Heights. When they arrived here, they found a fire inside the home, but again, quickly knocked it down. Officials telling First Alert 4 there were obvious signs that the fire was intentionally set. The state fire marshal now being called in to investigate both fires. And adding on to the story, when our overnight photographer gave us this information, what he pointed out to us, because he was at both scenes, just how close the fires were to one another. As you take a look at the map on your screen, yes, for some perspective, it's hard to tell on the map, but they're just about a mile from each other. This morning.